Hello and welcome to Geek Speak with Envision IT, a podcast for business leaders and technology experts that like to stay on top of the latest security news and listen to interviews with insightful industry leaders. I'm Bill Crane, Chief Stakeholder Architect and CTO at Envision IT. Let's get started. Hello and thanks for joining. Today we want to spend a little bit of time talking about the SolarWinds Breach. It's been in the news over the last couple of weeks and we've had a lot of customer questions. So we figured that'd be a good topic. If you haven't heard, SolarWinds, they're a very large enterprise networking and monitoring platform, if you will. It's used heavily in very large enterprises and U.S. government agencies. So it's a very heavily used product. And what happened was some bad actors got into the SolarWinds environment. Exactly how they got in is still being investigated. And what they did is they were able to basically take their malware and somehow sign that with the SolarWinds certificate and put that into their software distribution process. And what that allowed then to happen is customers using that product went out to get the latest updates, patches, and so on. And in doing so, when they updated their systems, it basically installed that malware. And basically after a certain period of time, those bad actors were basically able to do some really, really good planning and be very targeted against, these big organizations running that software. So basically able to map out their networks, spy on what they're doing, and steal data. And one instance that came out a couple weeks ago as well is FireEye, which is a very well-respected cybersecurity organization. They publish intelligence and they also do scanning penetration tests for customers. And in that case, their penetration tools were stolen. So in one positive, if you will, that came out of that was FireEye quickly, spread the news, what happened. They very transparent about the breach, and they created basically indicators of compromise. So basically IOC signatures for all of their tools, and they provided those to all the security tool manufacturers. So for our tools, our SIM provider, our EDR, endpoint management tool, they are basically able to take those IOCs, put those in their tools, and then start scanning, customer networks, and basically looking for any indication that, the SolarWinds Orion, malware that was injected that's in use on any of the networks, and then they're able to alert us or our customers. So, one of the questions that we're getting is, hey, these organizations, they're enormous and they have seemingly, unlimited cybersecurity budgets. How can we as an SMB or, mid-sized customer ever protect ourselves when these large organizations are getting breached? And what I would say to that is, these large organizations, they have incredibly complex networks and, massive number of teams operating security and just general day-to-day operations for those environments. So that just opens things up for making mistakes and maybe missing things as well. So I guess what I'd say is the advantage you have as a smaller organization is much less complex networks. You still need to have a lot of due diligence. You have to have really good asset management, patch management, end user security training, a lot of these things that we've talked about in the past. So all those things are more important than ever right now, but at least they're manageable. So take a look at those things. Also, one of the things that's becoming more and more important is taking a look at your Active Directory, look at your security roles, take a look at all these systems. Say if you did have, SolarWinds Orion, those systems should really be on their own dedicated segmented network, with very heavy security around them, and take a look at, who has access to those systems. Does every administrator in your environment need it, or maybe just a few people? So take a look at that. Be very diligent about your security. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we'll get through this and we'll be stronger for it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any questions or you have future topics you'd like us to cover, please connect with us via the link in the show notes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Geek Speak with Envision IT.